So today I am thrilled to introduce my guests, Andy and Danny Vallentine, the director and writer of the new film, The Mattachine Family, that is currently playing at film festivals, including Outfest in Los Angeles. So thanks so much for talking with me today to you both.
Thank you so much for having us, Matt.
Yeah,
Excited
thank
to
you.
chat.
Yep, you are definitely welcome. So to start out, just let me know in your own words, what is The Mattachine Family all about?
The Mattachine Family is a movie that was kind of born from real conversations that Danny and I had about our journeyhood to become dads. And so the movie follows a gay couple, Nico Tortorella and Juan Pablo Di Pace, and it follows their journey on whether or not they want to be dads.
Exploring those subjects of fatherhood among gay men and also chosen family in the LGBTQ community. Why do you think both of those are such important subjects to explore right now?
Well, when I wrote the film, I couldn't have anticipated that when it would be like playing at film festivals, that we'd be in like this political climate where the idea of, you know, just the idea of gay families is political. But I think when I wrote the film, like Thomas says, a lot of his journey is reflective of my journey and our journey as a couple. But the idea that for me, when I came out, part of my coming out and accepting that I was gay myself at that time, when I was, 16, meant that I gave up the idea that I'd probably ever be married because it wasn't legal. And I gave up the idea that I'd probably ever have a family because it wasn't, again, something that I was seeing in the world around me. Um, and I, when I wrote the film, I wanted to explore those questions because part of it was learning through my adolescence and young adulthood about the importance of the chosen family that I created. So part of that, you let go of that, but then you see there's this beautiful community of people that you can assemble, of everyone who has kind of different experiences, but we're all united by this idea of like our queerness. And that was such an important part of my identity that when it became legal to get married and have be a parent, that when those became options, it was something that I really had to think about, like, well, do we let go of what we've built and in order to access something new, or how do we create something brand new, taking what is already a beautiful part of the gay community and then move forward with it? And so, Thomas's exploration of that as part of like parenthood and family and chosen family and created family was all something that I wrote it to like kind of explore that question and answer the questions I had for myself about it.
So, um, with you working together as a married couple, I can imagine that has its own benefits, also maybe some nuances with that. What's that collaborative process like? With both a personal and a professional partnership?
Whew, it's not easy. No, it is. There was a big learning curve at the beginning. I think I had been, directing professionally, directing commercials and music videos, and then when we, developing scripts myself, and then Danny's always been writing scripts, and I'd always given him notes and all that kind of stuff. But when we decided to kind of like let's do something together, there was definitely that learning curve of we had to figure out like what worked for us. I'm definitely much more of the I want to be like collaborative, like in the moment. And Danny was, we learned that it was that didn't work for Danny. It was a very much like let's have a discussion about like this scene and about this act or sequence, and we'll talk about the motivations of the characters and what our goals are. And then Danny would go and write. And then I would be like patiently waiting to read something. And then, would, it was just, yeah.
I think it was a good preparation for us being parents. I think learning how to compromise and be collaborative. Um, but it kind of worked itself out. I think in many ways we complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like,
Yeah.
Andy's like a experienced pragmatist, and I'm kind of like the dreamer. So we kind of, when we combine our forces, we make something that's practical and and
Right.
whimsical, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, fascinating to hear about the creative process. you've also worked with such a fantastic cast for this film. What was it like working together with them and also working together amidst the pandemic?
It was, a dream come true to work with such a like incredible queer cast. Everybody, 90% of the cast and the crew identified as LGBTQ plus. It wasn't necessarily a rule that we had or that I had to cast, a queer actor, but I definitely we were open to finding the best person for the role, and it just happens that everybody kind of fit those roles. And from Nico Tortorella's to Juan Pablo Di Pace, incredible performances, Thomas and Oscar, to the so hilarious Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek, or Heather Mazzarato, and Carl Clement Hopkins from Hacks. These were all actors that we were fans of and that we had like watched quite a bit of their previous work. So the fact that they wanted to like participate in our indie film because they're not doing this for the money. Like they can go make a lot more money doing something else, for some big studio. They were doing this because they saw something in Danny and I and our scripts and felt like they had a personal connection to the story and felt like it was necessary, to tell it. So, forever grateful for them, for participating and for bringing their talent to the film. And we really do think that, it shows.
Yeah, it definitely, I feel it shows with that fantastic cast in this film. One particular question that I did have that I was curious about: the film shares its name with one of the first gay rights organizations in the United States, the Mattachine Society. What was your creative process like in coming up with the title for the film?
Yeah, so the film, Thomas and Oscar live in Silver Lake, which is where Andy and I were living at the time that I was writing the film. So I was including things, a lot of the places where they're going to the reservoir, they're walking down Sunset Boulevard. And part of my own experience of being in the neighborhood and learning about this neighborhood I was living in was learning about the Mattachine Steps and the Mattachine Society. And, part of what I mentioned earlier about trying to include like the history and the path of progress that LGBTQ people have taken. And Thomas is grappling with that history as well. And he's talking about, there's a line in the film where he says, once upon a time, when all the people had was really their community, they had to call themselves a society because it had to be kind of like a secret thing. And now it's the discrepancy between like the past and the present is something that's really a profound revelation to Thomas. And I think, there's, for me, that was kind of one of like the driving forces of the film is thinking about the progress and how there's more opportunities available to us and how that changes things and what do we take from the past and bring with us to the future. And that's why I wanted to incorporate kind of some of that history and name the film that, because I think it is the Mattachine family. We take, the society, but we replace the word society with family. And it's kind of thinking about merging the past and present into this new future.
And the Mattachine Society was, one of the first LGBTQ rights organizations. It was really just a gay rights organization at that time in the 50s, and in Los Angeles. And there's a photo of a few of them around a Christmas tree, that we really connected with. Seeing these gay men in the 50s, and they were trying to advocate for gay rights. Sitting around this Christmas tree, it was very representative of us. And we live in Los Angeles. All of our family lives, back in the Midwest. And so we've really found our chosen family. And we have those same photos of our friends, like sitting around a Christmas tree. And we just thought that was like it was interesting that at the time, they called it, it was a society, and, how that has evolved to, really our chosen family today. So
Yeah, lots of neat history to explore there, certainly. So to kind of wrap things up, just let everyone know where they can see your film.
At a number of film festivals around the world. We're so excited. There's about 14 film festivals that it'll be playing, and we'll make all of those announcements on our Instagram, which is the Mattachine Family. And so it could be coming to a city near you. So we definitely encourage you to follow our Instagram, where you can stay up to date with where it's playing.
All righty. So again, I appreciate it so much. Love talking with you guys. So thanks for chatting.
Thank you,
Yeah, thank you
so much,
much.
Matt. We had a great time chatting with you, and thanks for sharing about
Yes.
Mattachine Family.
Yep. Appreciate it.